So welcome to Intuitive You. We are so happy you're here this morning, and we are just taking it to a whole new level. We got a whole new system at the studio, and we're just so happy to just be here with you. And I'm just extra happy because one of my closest, dearest friends is on the show with me this morning, and we get to talk about a really exciting subject, my favorite subject other than intuition, but they go hand in hand, and that subject is love. And this woman who I'm about to introduce you to, you can probably see her because we have this split screen option now, is Mina. And I have known her for over 10 years. She is my personal intuitive, and she is just a living example of love. And so I know this morning we're just so blessed to have her presence. And I invite you all just to drop into your hearts, drop your awareness into your hearts right now, knowing that that is the center of your alignment to love. And obviously it connects us to each other, to everyone and everything on this planet. And as you bring your awareness into your belly, you connect with your intuition, with your core, that inner compass that is guiding you moment by moment, step by step. So with that, Miss Mina, welcome to the show.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for Abby for having me. I'm so grateful to be here. I love the friendship and the work that Abby and I have done over the years. It's just been over a decade of goodness, and we both operate from love. That is our core, that is our value, that is our ethic. And of course we're human and sometimes we have to check ourselves, but that's the beauty in all this. We allow the human to integrate with the all-loving peace, and that's our job. That's part of why we're here. That's why we're having a life, is to remember that love, to return to radiate it as often as possible. And Abby, there's a perception that a lot of people have around love. They think it's all love. It's not. Love is love is love is love. But there's when we move away from love and we get twisted, or we turn our heads away and we drop in our frequency of love, that's part of the experience. And what our job is to experience and feel what that's like, and then help other people move into another step to remembering that channel, that path to love, and using it over and over until we've mastered it. That's mastery. Until we can check ourselves or be able to see where someone else is coming from a compassionate viewpoint when they aren't in love. That doesn't mean staying in a situation or allowing yourself to be abused, but it does that we recognize that's not love and that's pain, and that person has some healing, can guide them to the right person or the right direction, or we can focus and say, maybe I've got something to do, and we do that. So I want to get your thoughts. There's so much going on in spiritual communities, and everyone's breaking open and elevating and getting to a beautiful space of remembering what we're here. And that comes down to ethics and values and humanity. So what are your takes on humanity, Abby? Humanism part.
Well, so I believe in the universal language of love, so that's always present. And so that's really the heart's language, right? Beyond words.
Right.
And to add a little bit to what you were saying, the word unconditional love kept coming to me, right? Because there's love, and then there's unconditional love, which is all encompassing. And it doesn't mean, like you said, that you don't have boundaries, but it's, I love you and this is what I need. I love you and I'm saying no to this, but I'm saying yes to this, right? So it's all encompassing. And it's non-judgmental. So, I mean, that's like the foundation, as you know, of the intuitive success coaching process that I teach. Is I was like founded it on my own intuition. I'm like typing through me on the computer. It's like foundation of love, non-judgment. And fascinatingly enough, I call you as my friend often, being like, okay, like, how do I stay in love here? What do I do? Right? Because it's a constant practice. So I think as far as humanity, like, we're all in it. And how can we be love and align with love, right, in the center of our hearts, to then connect from that place, right? And I feel like, yeah, maybe we don't always do it perfectly, but that's the unconditional piece,
Right.
So, yeah. So that's my thoughts on humanity. And I think it's like, yeah, strengthening that by doing things like these where we can feel our hearts and come together in love.
Yeah, I love that. It's a feeling. And that's the human experience is such a range of emotion, and we all experience, we're here to experience it all, always return to love. That is the part of it. And when we do that, not only do we not. We stop the pain and we stop the hurting, we accept it. But love can be fierce with boundaries and say no. You're right. Love can say no. And love can walk away when necessary if you're being hurt. And love can also embrace and open and expand and create more of what that is. So I think to start with some practical things for people with your Intuitive You Success Coaching program, it spells it out so wonderfully. You've created a beautiful map for people to take steps that are easy yet profound. And love is simple. The truth is always simple, right? The simplicity. It's human brains that complicate it all with our need to justify and our cultural conditioning. And we don't need to do that. It's really super simple. And truth can always be felt in the heart, right? Truth can always be felt in the heart. And everyone's truth is relevant as long as they're aligned. And when you're aligned, it feels easy, it feels flowing, and it feels certain. There's a certain level of certainty when you're in your truth, where you cannot be swayed, where you know that is. And there's a difference between stubborn and a difference between certain. And stubborn is you're not open to any other point of view and you're not aligned to love. But certainty and alignment with the truth has a flow to it, a beautiful flow that's easy to recognize, and you're open and your intuition can flow in that way. And so just the simple steps that are taught in your program to bring you back to your heart are really wonderful. And my job and what I do is I help people remember who they are, why they came, and what they're meant to do. And I help them to accelerate their process and their path and reach those goals, reach that vision, embody that thing, create new relationships, whatever it is that they are knowing is right for them. I can hone in and see the truth or the not truth, and I put people back on that path to themselves, to their own inner experience and truth, and then bring them forward. And then it's easy for you to do once you've experienced it. And I think something that's powerful about you and I that I love is we're experiential teachers. We don't just tell you something. We sit with you and help you move through it until you hit that core, until that switch flips and you feel that thing, and you open up to that expansion and that new level of yourself or love that is there for you, because you are love, and that is that.
I love that. I was thinking about that last night. Like, it really is an alignment piece. Like, you can feel when you're on or feel when you're off, right? And like, for me, like, I really do. Like, I'll feel my heart, and then I feel like the light coming in. And I wish people could have seen me before the show, but the sun was like shining on her crown, like the top of her head, like straight through her heart. And that's really what it feels like, right? Like, in the course, we activate each of the 7 chakras and they're aligned with that light. So when you're literally the channel of that light. And so you feel aligned, you feel good, because you are being an expression of the love that you are.
Right.
And if something feels off, it's like, ooh, that didn't feel quite right. How do I get back, like you said, into alignment with love and return back home to that place, right? And so sometimes it's just asking yourself, okay, like, how do I realign to love right now? And like, listen for the answer. Like, let it be a thought that then resonates with your heart and gut and feels right to take action on, right? Maybe it's like, I'm going to call Mina. Okay, great. Hey, Mina. And so it's kind of like, you kind of click back in. Like, it is kind of like you click into gear. Like, you can feel that alignment, right? So, like, I was talking to my marketing team last week, and we were talking about the word alignment. It feels right. So you need, if you feel off, to get back into alignment with love. And if you do feel in alignment with love, how else can you expand into a greater expression of it?
Yes, exactly. And here's something that I've found with most people. They've had moments or little experiences where they felt love, but they don't think it's sustainable. They don't feel like they feel like it was a fluke or a one-time thing, or maybe it was just God for the moment, or the universe, or love, or whatever you believe, popping in for a moment. Maybe it was just a moment of higher awareness. It is a moment of higher awareness if you've experienced it. And the thing is, you're meant to make more of that. You're meant to make more of what feels good. And a lot of people don't know what alignment feels like. We're operating from the head and not the heart. And there's a place for the head and there's a place for the heart. And when you talk about aligning the chakras, that just connects everything together and creates such a beautiful flow, just energetically alone, that piece right there. But then when they're in that space, it's so much more powerful. And here's a couple tips, practical tips. So if you don't know what alignment feels like, or you're not sure exactly, how do I know if I'm in alignment or not? Because sometimes we want what we want and we want it to work really bad, and we put all that energy into it, even though there's a part of us that's going, oh, oh God, your higher self is going, oh no, what are you doing?
Mina, can I interrupt you really quick to tell you what that happened to me yesterday? In fact, I called you after the fact. And on the way back, I remember feeling like around Pagan Square, like I was forcing something. But I will tell you, on the way there, like I already told you, and I'm letting all the listeners know, I felt it in my gut, like I felt nauseous. So exactly that intuitive compass, it was like something's off because I started feeling nauseous. And I was like, oh no, but I really want to go. And my guides are like, okay, if you need to have this experience, like we got you. But I learned when something feels off, some signs to look for: nausea, right? Quite frankly, it just doesn't feel quite right? Just even that.
Yep.
And then in that moment, I had a choice. I could have turned back around, but it's like, no, I don't want to do that either. Like to your point, but I really want this, right? So I like kept going, right? And it's just kind of
I really want it to work.
Head, right? Being like, yeah, no, but I want. Yeah, the yeah, but, right? And it's like,
yeah, but
next time, like I hear you, guidance, and we're going to follow it, right? And then you save yourself a lot of pain. You protect yourself when you follow your intuition. You move into alignment with what it is that you want, and you actually are able to create. Like I can tell you, my entire life. That's why I teach this stuff. Like miracle after miracle happens because it's like that love is such a high frequency. Miracles are then a manifestation of that love, and you're like, ooh, life is amazing, right? And so there's bumps in the road sometimes. I'm not saying my life is always perfect. I'm just saying it works.
It does. It works.
Aligning with love works. What were you going to say, sister?
No, it absolutely works. It does. It does. And thank you for sharing that, because it's true. And, we all have things that we want. And so when it comes to creating desire or manifesting something you want, you may want this thing, but is that thing aligned? That's the key. And this is where Abby and I can take you deeper in the work that we do to find out what is really aligned. And if it is aligned, what's in your way? What's in your way of having it? It could be past experiences. It could be old trauma. It could be just a thought that you picked up or created in kindergarten. You don't know, but you have your willingness to discover more layers of you and to move those things out of the way and reframe them and recreate the story is really important. But the practical things to get back into alignment, that is really great. Yeah, that gut, that feeling you're nauseous, there's that feeling of resistance, there's that funky feeling of, there's just a funky feeling. But there's also, when you're moving towards what you want, there's fear, because you're going to uncover stuff sometimes too. So always sit with, there's a difference in good fear, clean fear, and not clean fear. And the clean fear has an element of excitement and expansion to it. I call it dirty fear. It's not really dirty, but it's grubby fear. The non-clean fear, it feels heavy, and it feels depressed, and it feels harmful. And it's almost like it's beyond it's like terror and fear without excitement. There's nothing uplifting you or moving you. And that's like an absolute no. That's a hell no. And if you're working on your life and you're moving forward, if a part of you is saying yes, and hell yes, I really want this. Oh my God, yes, this is what I want. And you're moving towards it, and your gut and your intuition is telling you no. The thing is that I think is most important is to stop and listen to it and ask why. And here's where you can figure out more about being in alignment. Yeah. 1, know your values. What are your values? What matters to you? Not the values you grew up with, not the values that culture and society taught you, but do a deep dive in your own values. What matters to you? Those values are huge. And where are your ethics? Like for me, one of my top values is kindness. Anything and anyone that is not kind can get out of my space. I don't tolerate it, and I will not be around it. If you want to learn kindness, that's great. I can show you how to feel it. I can show you how to do that. But if you don't have kindness, you don't have compassion, and you don't have love. And I can't get on board with that. So, and kindness is direct and honest as well. But it's a powerful thing. So check your values, and and sometimes we're afraid of looking at our values. A lot of people don't know how to be authentic. It took me years, and my journey was I was so afraid. I had so much of fear of being who I was because I thought the things that were mattered to me deep inside, I buried them. Beauty is one of my number one top values. I need beauty around me. I need to be in nature. Because it brings out a natural rhythm for and with me. And I was embarrassed or afraid to say that because isn't that just shallow? No, it's not. And beauty to me is very different than it might be to someone else. So it's unique to you, but allowing yourself to see who you are and to trust yourself and to unveil those things just your values alone. When you're making a decision, does this align with my values? Does this align with where I'm going? Does this align with where I want to be? And that can help you make decisions and help you move forward towards what you want and move through the feelings of fear or resistance and understand your intuition a little bit more. Because a lot of times your intuition is like, hey, girl, this is not where you want to be. This is not aligned with who you really are. But yet we're taught to push forward, and especially in American society, we are taught to push and go against ourselves to fit into a one box, one mold fits all, and that's not fun. Where's the artistry in there? Where's the beauty in that?
Right. Well, I was frowning for a minute because I was trying to think of what I was wanting to say. Everything you said is so true and so spot on. And one thing I'd love to add is when you're intuitively guided, there's a sense of knowing. So like you said, there's a certainty, right? So you're moving from your head to your heart to your gut. That knowingness actually provides the pathway ahead for your next step that you can have that greater expression of love. And in that process, it's very likely that you will feel fear. And it is that exact fear you're talking about, which is excitement. Like when I moved back from Oregon back to California by the beach, it was like tremendous fear, right? Like letting go of my 3-bedroom, 3-bath house. Like, oh my God, I'm going to let go of everything, right?
I'm going to be poor forever. I can't replicate
right?
this.
But it was even better though. Like it was like a smaller place, but somewhere I loved, right? And so the fear that can come, I want to say it's normal because there's a knowingness underneath the fear. It's your intuition and it's truth. And that is your soul guiding you. And Mina, you're going to be so excited to hear this. So like Mina's been telling me the last, 2 weeks, Mina, Abby, sometimes you have to like move. I'm saying it in different words than you said, but move beyond your heart into your soul. And last night I actually felt my heart, and then I felt the energy beyond my heart, which was my soul guiding me into something that we've been talking about, which is even higher than your heart. Like your heart is the gateway to your soul. But because your soul is eternal and it's infinite spirit, it knows even more than your heart. But the heart's the gateway. So you have to enter your heart to go to your core, your gut, which is the compass connected to your soul, which is your soul's wisdom embodied. So that's why we often say, or we've talked about it, but maybe not on air, follow your body, right? Like last night, Mina sent me a text. She's like, hey girl, my body needs to work out. I'm like, got you. Like your body knows, right?
I'm human.
Right? I'm like, of course, I got you for that. Right?
Yeah.
Right? But listen to that because there's such wisdom and such depth. Like if you were to just do this for your entire life, like your soul knows the way already. And then you will gather like the people, the circumstances, the events, everything you need to manifest that. And yes, your soul does come with a purpose and only you can fulfill it. And I personally believe we do have certain soul agreements. Like I'm pretty certain, like I made a little agreement with Mina to be like my fairy god soul mother, you know? And you know it because when you feel those people, and you might even be feeling it with me, or, you know, when I see you, sometimes I feel, you know, my clients, my listeners, oh yeah, we totally agreed to be here. Like, peace, I'm here for you. You're here for me. Like, let's rendezvous. This is fun, right? And that's part of the reason I do this show is like, I know that interconnection, right? Like, I know the millions of people we're here to serve. So let's do it, right? Like, and who are you meant to serve? That's a great question to open your heart and your intuition. So there you have it, Means.
I love it. That's fantastic. That's absolutely beautiful. And it's true. I love that the way you put that. The heart is the gateway, and that is it. And the energy is the embodiment and the recognition of all of that. So that is really huge. So we're talking about alignment and love today. You know, love feels good. And love and truth are hand in hand. Universal truth and the way that those things work. Truth sets you free, but you may not be what you want to hear, but it will always feel relieving. It will always feel good, and it will always feel positive. So when you teach your course, in your course, I'm trying to think of you do some body kind of things with that. So let's talk a little bit more about how people can connect deeper. Let's give our viewers some really tangible ways to step into their alignment a little deeper.
Wow. I love how you're just shining back at me. Thanks, Beans. I mean, I guess go to your gut, right? So you're right. I mean, the course does the activations. And I think this morning we're activating the second chakra, which is your intuition. So as you feel that light in your belly, see where it's inspiring you. And you're going to get your yeses that uplift you. And your no's don't. And I think, one of the things, God, one of my dear friends, she's a past student too. Okay, can't say her name for confidentiality now, but I adore her. And she used to say, acceptance is bliss. Mm-hmm. And so to actually be where we are in the moment, say, okay, where do I navigate forward from here? Right. And this is just as much for me as anybody else. I'm like, all right, where from here? Right. Like you're on a path and you're like, hey, I could go this way, or this way. Right. Like my coach, she's funny. She's like, hey, Abby, there's this path, or this path. Like, what do you want? Right. And your intuition will like pull you. Right. And so to just listen to that pull in your belly, yes, it is body work in the sense that I help you activate your body's wisdom. And so we used to do a lot of Reiki hands-on healing. I do have some clients that like drive or fly to do VIP stuff, so we can do hands-on. And actually, I had a neighbor who just did a session hands-on, so I love that. So if anybody wants to fly out here to California, let me know. I love doing the hands-on healing. It's amazing. But unless I can get my hands on you with your permission, it's activating what's already in there. Inside of your heart, right? Mm-hmm. And so did you want to add anything to that? Because we're kind of pulling it out of like, hey, that wisdom that's there, activate it, So I just feel like, is there anything else you want to say about that, Mina?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you are wanting to find that alignment piece, Abby's right. So often we're taught in spiritual circles, or we're taught in the books that we read, or the Oprah's Soul Train, or whatever that show was. I don't remember. We are taught to feel the heart, and we're taught open the upper chakras, but we have to recognize the lower chakras. They get a bad name, and honestly, that's not what we want to do. We don't want to give them a bad name. If you don't have your lower chakras engaged, you're not embodying what it is that you're trying to do. You're not able to manifest in a good way. You're not able to, you fall short. So your body is your compass. So when you feel something and you're really strong about it and you just know what you know, and then there's times when the decision or the experience you want to have, the thing that you want deeper understanding on, the bigger stuff, that's where you tap into your body. So definitely connecting. I always have people start with the root, then activate the sacral, and then the solar plex if you want to. But make sure you feel your hips, you feel your knees, you feel your feet, and you drop back into your presence. And when you drop into your presence, you're able to, things suddenly make sense again. Things will feel good again. And all the hectic stuff that's going on in your mind or in the energetic auric field will actually settle down, and it brings you back into your own frequency, your own vibration, your own self, your own presence. Staying in your own lane is really important. It's not a selfish thing to be in your own frequency when making decisions or just choosing what you want to do. So yeah, tapping into the lower chakras, being present in your body, going for a walk or a run, something that invigorates you and gets your mind out of the game and brings you into your presence. That's why a lot of people like hardcore workouts, because they can only focus on what's happening right there. Or read a book. If you read a book, yes, you're stepping out of your mind, but you're moving away from the present situation long enough to move through it. And then when you're done, have a cup of tea and just name the colors, like name what's here. Look around you, feel the sensations in your body, and you should be able to feel much more aligned with your decision and a much more aligned in your body. You should be able to get a body response from that. I think we bypass the physical just a little too much.
Yeah. So I consider you a master, Mina. So I want to ask you a question because it's something I've been learning, and probably haven't been the best at, just feeling my energy and my energy alone, where I would feel other people so much that I'd actually get swayed by what they were saying more than just what I knew. So I'm getting better, but I would love to hear any of your thoughts, because I think a lot of people can relate to this, as most people that follow us are already very intuitive. We follow them back, right? We're like, hey, you're our tribe. Like, we're all intuitive. Yeah. How can we all maintain our energetic frequency of pure love? Not that other people aren't, but to know what's ours and feel what's true for us. I think that's the main question, like fifth chakra, right? Like activating that highest truth of the soul.
Mm-hmm. So we're talking to our empaths, our highly sensitive people, our HSPs. Exactly. We're talking to our healers, our counselors, our medical practitioners,
and children,
all of them, everybody who's in service.
Children are totally picking it up.
Yes, children, parents, anybody who is slightly sensitive or an emotional being. So half the population is emotional beings. So we need to address that. So when you're an HSP or an empath, or you're feeling other people's energy. So HSP is a highly sensitive person, and that actually is a term, and we have our name. And there's introverts. Introverts are very sensitive. Introverts are super sensitive to external stimuli and other people's frequencies and energies. I'm an which is half extrovert, half introverts, and they're both really strong. So, and even extroverts are super. It can be, if you're super social, you have to clear yourself of other people's energy. So if your systems are open and you are empathetic and sensitive, it's super important to stay in your own lane and learn where do others begin and where do I begin and where do others end. That's the thing I always say. Where do I begin and where do you end? And where do I end and where do you begin? Because that's really difficult for us. We feel everybody, and there's a unity and a oneness, and we're always working and gravitating towards that. And some of us, in our tribe, we have some of the stronger leaders, and we have some of the people who are bringing up the back, and they're equally valuable. And then there's everyone in between. And if you're more of a tribal circuit kind of person, and you want to, and you're all about, keeping the cohesion, it's really hard to separate. And that's really, really huge. I know a lot of parents have a hard time with that. But here's the thing that you have to recognize is, who are you? Who are you? What defines you? What defines you? Who are you? And step away and take time. I'm someone who loves to read. I'm someone who loves nature. I am a kind person most of the time. I got my spicy cinnamon parts, but they're still loving. And who are you? And in defining some of the things that you love and defining the things that you enjoy and defining what matters to you, unity. So for you, unity matters. Being in the heart space matters. Peace matters. Peace matters hugely to me. If I'm not in a peaceful place, I will do everything I can and take the steps to do that, because that's part of my alignment. When I'm coming and operating from a place of peace, everything's 10 times easier. But getting there can be difficult because I have to let go of everyone else. So when you look at the things that are causing you stress, pull back and ask, is it an external or is it an internal? Anything external is not you. If it's your child that's causing you stress, if it's your job that's causing you stress, if it's your relationship or something outside of you that's causing you stress, world events causing you stress, that is you, but it's not you. That's not your individual human. So you have to take time to step back and be who you are for a little while, and just take 5 minutes, set an alarm, and just say, I'm letting go. And you can do, there's some energy work in your program. And then when I work individually with people, I give them their own energy work system. I create one for them. And you just, you create a barrier between you and the outside world just for a little while. And then that's the other half of the world that's all they know is themselves. And I can't imagine that. I would not want to live that way. It would be so lonely and dull if you didn't have all these other connections. But everyone's meant to operate in the way that they are. So yes, you have to take time to recognize that. And again, that's where values and your ethics come in. Is this situation operating and working with what matters to me? If it matters to me, it's important because I matter. So many sensitives, so many empaths. We take on everyone else's stuff and the conditioning around us, and pretty soon we don't think we matter. And it's not an arrogant thing. It's not being more than you are. It's saying I get to have a choice and a chance to live a life that I love too, and I get to matter. I get to be as equal as all these things, as all these external things, because I'm that person that put everyone and everything ahead of me first, and pretty soon there was nothing left of me, and I had to rebuild and re-recognize who I was. And that was a really long and painful journey about 20 years ago. And it affects your health. It affects your everything. So yeah, I hope that helped. I just kind of went off on a rant there.
No, it's awesome. I love it. I mean, what was coming to mind is you can all download, I have it, meditation challenge. It's an intuitive challenge. You can go to followingyourintuition.com and get a 30-day challenge to actually keep doing that and building that. But what I want to recommend even more than that is booking a session with Mina, because she actually does have the ability to see your energy, to help you route it in a way that you can manage your energy and then interact with the world to live your purpose. So this woman, like I said, has been supporting me living mine for, it's got to be over 10 years now. And so it's like to have somebody see you at that highest soul level and then help you be able to navigate through the world and embody your intuition is like the greatest gift, right? So, I mean, I just feel so lucky to be able to call you a friend, Mina. But I know there's so many people. I know you've helped thousands, you told me. So I would love for you, if you're willing, to share your personal email so people can reach out to you to get that information.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Romina, ROMINA, Hoda, HODA @yahoo.com. That's my email. And as soon as you email me, we'll figure out a connection and a time. We can get together and just see what kind of support you're looking for. And if it's a good fit, that is not a problem at all. I love that. I'm also on Facebook under Romina Hoda, and I'm on Instagram as well. So you can reach me all kinds of places. I'll have a website up and coming at the end of the month. I'm super excited about that. I've been working on that for about a year. Oh, it's going to be fun. There'll be some freebies. There'll be some energetic shifts. There'll be some different things some tools that you can just instantly use to help you shift into alignment, help you shift into your grounding into a space of more ease and flow. And anybody who wants to learn, Abby's a great teacher.
I love how we're plugging each other. Can you all tell we're friends?
Well, it's for mutual respect. If you want to learn, so I've seen, used to teach intuition. I taught it for years. And I've seen so many courses, is like one of the top. It is 5 of go-tos to tell people, hey, you want to learn intuition? This is where you want to go. This is who she is. Take the course. It's very inclusive. It's very thorough. And then they get your support as well. And I'm seeing there's so many courses out there that are, do it yourself. And I'm a do it yourselfer too. Come on, who isn't, right? But there's points in your life where you need to quantum shift. It can take you 3 years, or we can do something in 3 months. I hear that from my clients all the time. Oh my God, I've been in therapy for 10 years. 3 months with you is like 10 years. Or I'll hear, I've been trying for 5 years. I have one client who tried for 2.5 years to reach her goal career-wise. She worked with me for 4 months. She was landing leads and roles and getting paid for it left, right, and center. That's one of my recent clients. But yeah, work with Abby when you want to learn intuition, or you want to get an experiential feel for energy work, and you want to know what it feels like without diving in. Because when you're with me, you're going to get the whole thing. I don't mess around. We just go from 0 to 100 like that. And Abby's she's fast. She's super fast. For her intuitive class, it up levels you in really comfortable and sometimes for very profound ways. But sometimes if you're uncomfortable, she knows how to get you back into your balance and get you back into that centered space. And I can too, but her course is really good. And I recommend it if you want to learn intuition. And Abby, what are some of the benefits of intuition, of taking your course and learning to recognize your intuition?
That's a great question. Can we pause on that? Because I promise we'll answer, and I just want to kind of circle around because thank you for asking that. One of the things about intuition is being practical, right? So one of the
Yes.
reasons that it works is I'm like, hey, great. Like, this is what your intuition says. This is what mine says. Go do it, right? Because like without the action, like it doesn't happen. So I
Right.
think, a lot of like I started really young. I was 19, right? And I was successful in the sense that I built a wellness center. I had the certification school. I had my practice when I was 19. 50-year-olds were sitting in
Mhm.
my I took
Yeah.
action. I built my own site. I did my own brochures. I put them on cars. I'm like, I did it because it felt good.
Yeah.
So if your intuition is telling you to do something, like we talked about before, that gut feeling of inspiration, let it move you to then do something and let that action give you the result that you want or even better, right? So, the benefits of intuition, you get what you want, right? Or even better, right? Like even moving here, it's like, I mean, I knew it was going to be good, but it was even better, right? So I think that's it, right? And so when you learn how to activate and develop it, you're actually like fine tuning your innate gifts. You're fine tuning what's already there and you learn to trust it. It's actually so much about learning to trust yourself,
Yeah.
intuition is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because, like you said, it's kind of the deepest part of you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where you can connect people with their core. And yes, I can help you all like build into your life what you want by developing your intuition. But to get who you are at the core, and activate that, you trust yourself. You become who you're meant to be. And that's beautiful, of course.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And that trust is huge. So our brain, excuse me, our brain is a little bit disconnected from the intuition until it learns to align with it. And
Yeah.
that's what your course does. It helps your brain to align to recognizing those symbols. And the brain has to have evidence. The mind has to have evidence. And the more you follow the intuition. Now let's go back. Let's circle back to, 15, 20 years ago when love and light was great and people were like, oh, well, just follow your intuition and build it and they will come. And it's like, oh God, that is like the worst advice ever. You have to have strategies. You have to do the momentum. You have to listen for the details and the steps. You have to have practical real world advice and steps to follow through. Like you said, when you were 19 and you followed your intuition, you took the initiative to follow what works for marketing now. Making flyers, putting them on people's cars, getting the word out there. However it is, you knew to take a practical step in research. So it's not just this fluffy manifestation thing of I want this and it's going to just magically appear. You have to take the real world steps and allow your container, allow yourself a path to come to you and it works. But if you don't, then it's just going to be wishful thinking. So having a dream and having a wish is the thought process. Having a vision and embodying it or creating it is having a plan. You must have a plan and let your intuition guide your plan. You must take real world steps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the other thing I want to add to that is it's connecting with people. So I've been blessed with the most amazing teachers and mentors. Oh my God. Like seriously, like Michael Bennett, like my NLP teacher, he gave me my office. We traded, right? We traded. I'm like, hey, you and your girlfriend, you want massages and yoga for that office? He's like, sure. I'm like, really? Right? And so they give you opportunities. So who can you connect with that aligns you with your vision, that feels your heart? And then they will help you take those actions. And that momentum and that connection, right, of that unity is what to me is so inspiring. Like I just had a heart to serve. Like I wanted to give the love I had. So then people would show up to help me do that. So that's why in the course I ask you, like, what's your vision? What's your mission? What's your why? And I don't just ask it from your head. We do it from your body, from your intuitive activations, because it's a very different answer than if you just shoot off at the top of your head, right? Like, oh, maybe this. No, you feel it, like you said, you embody, you become it. Because what happens energetically is you literally become the vibration of it. And that vibration is actually what attracts everything to you. And that is intuitive success.
Perfect. And I love that. That's absolutely true. That's you have to embody the frequency of what you want. And it's easier said than done, but you have to take those consistent, practical steps and hold that. Yeah.
And it's actually like easy when you're aligned with your intuition. I think that is half the battle. So once you're aligned with your intuition, it is easy. But it's about getting back into alignment if you are not feeling like you're in alignment with your intuition right now. Because like I said, once you're in alignment with your intuition, it's like that.
It does. It happens. It manifests really quick, like instantaneously. It's like boom, right there. And you're like, did this just happen? Did this just happen? Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
Yes. And that's why the thing about time in some ways doesn't matter, because it's frequency, right? So it's like traveling at the speed of love, right? So it's like tomorrow or today, you could manifest something like this because you're at the right frequency, where you are like, oh my God, I waited for 10 years for that. And it's like, you're finally at the frequency to receive it. It's like, bing, got it, you know?
Exactly. And when you're with your intuition, again, it quantums the time frame. You can do it in 3 years, you can do it in 3 months, or 10 years, or 3 months, or 6 months, or a year. But having that support, having that knowledge, having that energy or that guidance behind you is so essential and key to help you with that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I gotta say, I think we all need each other, like interdependent, like man, oh man, it's like this interweaving, you know, like, you know, I don't know what I do without Mina and all my people, you know, like it's just, it's like a web, you know, like a spider's web. It's all interconnected, you know?
I look at it as a beautiful tapestry, and we're each a different colored thread, and we each have our own design, and together we make a beautiful big picture. Yeah. I agree.
So, Mina, is there anything else you want to add? I know we probably have like 5 or 10 minutes. Sorry, everyone. I still have not gotten on board with the whole call board yet. So if you want to type any question in the chat, feel free. And I want to let you know, Mina and I believe, are going to be on Instagram next week, this week or next.
It's next week.
Is it? Okay. So go ahead and follow us on Instagram. So Romina Huda, you can also go to Life Force Connection. Yep, Life Force Connection for Instagram with me. And we'll be doing an Instagram live there too. So, and I also believe a Facebook live. So I got my whole strategy with my team going on. So I'd love to see you all there. And also, you know, as Mina was talking about the certification course and intuition, you can go directly to the site, which is lifeforceconnection.com. And you can actually download a free gift, which is the activations that we're talking about. And you can learn more. Of course, you can reach out to me. Love to hear from you. And then if you're feeling called to go deeper into the course, absolutely, we can talk about it. You know, it is a commitment. It is life-changing. You know, so before people book sessions or to the program, they're like, oh my God, I've had all these shifts. It's kind of like your commitment to your soul. Because it sets it in motion. So if you're ready for that and you want that and you want to up level, yes. If you're not ready, maybe just book an intro session and then we'll talk about it and see if you want it.
Right.
But it's like, it is there for you, you know? So just say yes to your soul, you know, say yes to you. And then, Mina, what else is it that you want to share? I feel like there's 5 or 10 minutes left about you and the alignment and harmony. Something about the word harmony. I think you used to say Harmony's Edge was one of your companies. Like,
yeah, that was a business. I had a business for a long time. It was Harmony's Edge. Yeah. And it is changing and transmuting, and it will be solutions, solutions as soon as and I'll be putting out a weekly newsletter called The Higher Perspective, where I go ahead and take an event or an experience or a subject and show the higher perspective around it. It's because so often we're caught in the ego trappings of this world and the physical. So I'll show you the higher perspective. But yeah, so I agree. There's in following your intuition, learning your intuition is so important. So yeah, definitely check out Abby and have an intro session, and then see if the course is for you. It's fabulous. And if you wanted to work with me or you want to learn more, right now my one-on-one is open, and my one-on-one is a deep container of powerful support where we shift, activate, awaken, and help you evolve to your next level. And there has to be a willingness to allow yourself to hear, see, and experience who you are, to discover who you are, to see those golden nuggets, to find those gems within you, and make room for the wonderful things that are waiting for you by eliminating that. So I'm an expert in shadow. I'm really good at that.
Talk to her about that. I don't do that. I'm like, come over to the light. Do the shadow work.
Yes, so I'm an expert there, and I'm also good. I'm a great manifestation and success coach, and that's where Abby and I really connect. And in our work, we connect, personally too. But in our work, we are all about seeing you succeed, giving you 1,000% of what we have. And I've been there and done that. There probably isn't much I haven't seen. I've been doing this for 25 years, and I have worked with thousands and thousands and thousands of people and transformed their lives. And you're right. The alignment piece is so huge. I mean, we're both right. The alignment piece is so huge, but the intuition just helps it to become so much easier. So learning who you are, how it works, and everyone's different. That's the thing. There's no one size model. So, if you're clairvoyant and clairsentient, which is your stronger one, and how do you tap into both of them? I mean, we all have them, but we start with what is the strongest for you, and move through and allow you to experience that, practice it, and start trusting it. And that's the biggest thing. So you can reach me at Romina, Romina, Hoda, at yahoo.com. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. And I will see you guys soon. And I think our Instagram, we'll do some energy work live. I think that would be really fun. What do you think about that?
That sounds amazing. I was just having a fun moment because I totally had a deja vu when you were talking. And I was just like, I love when things come in alignment and your like soul is kind of like looking over you. Like I had the most beautiful experience last night. Like it was literally like the light of my soul was kind of like coming around me, being safe and held. And I'm like, that is so beautiful. And I don't know if you've ever had an experience, anybody listening, of like your guardian angels or something coming through you to protect you. I remember one time, right? Like we were talking about yoga before the show, Mina, but like when I was coming out of my yoga teacher training one time in my car, I literally pulled in front of another car. Like just like was so in a yoga high daze. I just probably wasn't in my body. And so I just like pulled in front of this car and I literally felt something else on my hands go like it took over. And I was like, something just moved me out of harm's way. And that was not me. And I remember another time, I was getting ready to teach at the School of Healing Arts at the time in San Diego. And I could not for the life of me find the curriculum that I'd written. And I'm like, where on the earth is it? I looked at my table, totally blank. Nothing on my table. Go back into my bedroom, come back out, and my curriculum's sitting on my table. And I was like,
that happens to me all the time with me. Before I left. Yeah, and that's the other side. That's the guides. That's the angels. That's our loved ones that are helping us. I lost someone really dear to me, a friendship of 40 years. He was like a brother. We'd known each other since he was 12 and I was 13 when we met, and we were just like bonded. We lived together. I mean, it was a platonic relationship, but he was like a soul brother. And 2 weeks before he passed, very unexpectedly, on my desk was a card from the 1990s sent me. And I was like, oh my gosh, where did this? I didn't even know I had this thing. And there was a handwritten note in it. And I looked at it and I was like, oh my gosh, I got to reach out to you. And I got the call 2 weeks later and he passed. So, and it was very unexpected. So I think on some level, his soul was saying, hey, I love you, goodbye, because I didn't get that closure or that chance to talk to him again. So there's always wonderful things that we can see and help us with. So, and protection. We should do a show on that.
I was just going to say, so God, the universe is so funny. Literally, like you're sounding out a little bit. You're sounding out a little bit. So sorry, everybody, but half of my computer screen right now is literally this like white grayish light. As we're talking about the light of our soul coming in to protect us, half of my computer is literally this white.
And we see you clearly, so.
I'm okay, so I'm being protected by the light. You're being protected by the light. Like it's all here. So may you all ask that the light of your soul protects, guides, surrounds you, and connects you with all the right people, places, and things for you to completely fulfill your soul purpose. And to know that the quote unquote other side is always here. And as you connect with that, align with your chakras, bring that light into your body and experience it as you are that living expression of love. And that is like our deepest soul mission for everybody listening. I know this in every cell of my being because I know Mina and I know myself. And that is our wish for you. So I invite you to stay connected. Go to lifeforceconnection.com. Go to rominahood@yahoo.com. Connect with us. Stay connected. Stay in the light of love. And let us continue to lift you up because we love you. So
Perfect.
Anything else, unless you want to say anything else, Mina, I think we're going to log off for the day, and we will see you all next week at 9 a.m. Pacific. And make sure to sign up for our email list at lifeforceconnection.com so you get emails about this and just can find us a lot easier. All right.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.